Well, the clock ticking on TikTok, and the rush is on to find a U.S. buyer for the popular app before the ban goes into effect. This week, Monday, President Trump ordered a 75-day pause on the implementation of that ban. Among the potential buyers, we've got Mr. Beast, a.k.a. Jemmy Donaldson, the top internet creator in the world, former L.A. Dodgers owner and real estate mogul Frank McCourt, investor Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank, famed billionaire and Trump insider Elon Musk, and Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. Joining us now, NewsNation media contributor and founding editor at Mediaite.com, Colby Hall. Colby, as I was thinking about this in the commercial break, by the Beast Games, right, with Mr. Beast, I watched a couple of episodes of that. Wouldn't it be great if all these billionaires participated in some sort of game show to buy TikTok, right? And in the end, the last man standing gets to buy it. That'd be fun to watch.
I'd love it. Squid Games for the billionaire self-promoter tech billionaire media types. You know, the clock is ticking. You know, the executive order basically just gives 75 days. That was signed about 3 days ago. And, you know, all the names that you listed there are viable players. I would say, you know, each one of them are really skilled at self-promotion. And I think there's a lot of, it's not clear that any of these are going to be able to pull off the deal. It's not nearly as simple as I think a lot of people understand it, because Congress passed a law, which was upheld 9-0 by Supreme Court, that, you know, what makes TikTok TikTok is its code, its Chinese-owned algorithm. And that code can't still be owned by China, and they have expressed zero interest in selling that proprietary information. So I happen to be very skeptical. I think something's going to have to change, or something's going to have to give for a sale to a U.S. company, joint venture, to go through. So, you know, something's got to give, and I'm not sure it will.
Well, maybe is that loophole, what I'm reading is a 50% buy, whereas China owns 50%, somebody in the U.S. owns 50%.
Well, the law says 80%, right? And so 50%, which was floated by Trump, which seems like plausible, a joint venture, yeah, that's great, makes sense. But Kevin O'Leary, I saw him doing an interview the other night on another network, and he said, look, I'm a part of this, but, you know, something's got to change. Either the Congress needs to repeal the law, or Supreme Court needs to overturn the decision. Otherwise, it's sort of a non-starter. Now, of course, he was on to talk about potentially, you know, sort of promoting TikTok. And I think that was a very Trumpian thing to do, right? A lot of these people are throwing their names out there so that we can talk about them in the context of being these sort of moguls, these powerful people. The most recent thing I saw on CNBC recently, that Elon Musk, who seems to have the highest connection, has thought about purchasing it and, merging it with Twitter, which would be super duper powerful. And Elon Musk has a ton of sort of past relationships with China. So if I were to sort of handicap this as a horse race, I think Elon Musk is probably, you know, and the fact that he's not saying much about it suggests maybe he's letting everyone sort of get their bids out there, and he may swoop in, presuming something can happen. But it's all speculation at this point. And I think it's 50-50 whether or not TikTok really survives in the U.S., given the current laws.
Yeah. Are you as surprised as I am that there isn't a bigger opportunity here to create a new TikTok? I mean, you've got all these tech billionaires and you've got these genius coders. I mean, why aren't one of these current apps able to replicate what TikTok has done, or even make it better than what TikTok did?
Well, they're trying. And I will say that, you know, the thing that makes it super duper unique, and forgive me for my dog barking in the background, but what makes it unique is that the algorithm, and that basically it tracks every single microsecond that you're on, who you follow, who you like, who you unfollow. And I guarantee you the coders at Meta and at Google YouTube, they're trying their best to replicate that. They haven't been. And really, it's what made TikTok has now sort of reached, you know, a huge network of people. But what makes it great is that if you express interest in like old commercials from the 70s that are nostalgic, it will recognize that, and it will give you precisely what you want. And that's sort of why it's so addictive and sort of scary for a lot of parents to see their kids doom scrolling. But of course, because it's owned by China, there's this backdoor stuff. It's essentially, I'm not sure that it's spyware, but it certainly could be used as spyware. And so I suspect that, you know, the coders are trying their best to replicate it. if it were that easy, we'd already be there. So yeah, it's to be TBD. It's not the worst thing in the world if TikTok were to go away and Instagram Reels were to like improve and replace that, because at least it would be an American-made company and abide by American laws.
Yeah, well, my parental perspective, I mean, day one when it went away, my daughter deleted it somehow from her phone, and it was a rough 24 hours. And then she came back to us the following day when it was still gone. And I thought, okay, we can live without it, right? We can live without it. But I know there's other people who don't believe so. Colby, thank you, as always.
Thank you, Marni. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, TGIF. Okay, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.